American Girl collectors. Today we're going to be looking at another box activity kit. This one is called Doll STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, from American Girl. This was released when Luciana was out back in 2018, but it's still sold today. Another fun thing about today's DIY is that we're going to be looking at a My Life As item, because once we get opened up and look at the book, you'll see that they needed a horse. And I have looked around, but they've been back ordered or sold out at the American Girl place. But I managed to find the exact same horse at My Life As Walmart. And so we can open up that horse and then we'll get along with the DIYs today. So let's look at it. So for starters, on the front it says Doll STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And it says discover the worlds of science, technology, engineering, and math. And then at the bottom it says over 50 crafts to make, plus a letter from former astronaut Eileen Collins. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously you can see Luciana's looking like a science expert in her astronaut outfit. And then on the side it says Doll STEM and the American Girl watermark. On the back, it shows different jobs that dolls can pick up while they do this activity. For example, being a veterinarian or looking through a telescope, and all those activities that have to do with science. And they're pretty cool. And they have all these different listings of different activities that come in the kit and that we will be looking at. So let's look at the book. As you can tell, there are many different cutouts and pop-up stuff that we will be looking at later, but today we're only going to be looking at one page of the book. So here is the horse that I got from My Life As. It's pretty cool. As you can see on the picture, there are the 18-inch dolls on it, and it says it comes with a saddle, pad, all these sort of things that have to do with horses. So let's go ahead and look at the book, and then we'll see. Oh, and by the way, it also came with these certificates and little how-to pieces of information from My Life As that have to do with keeping a horse. So let's look at this book. The first page says, discover the world of science, technology, engineering, and math. And so it shows a doll who looks like she's all ready to get to working and designing. This little piece also came with the activity kit. It's pretty cool because you can add little individual working tools into this little slots. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. But this isn't for today's DIY, so we will put this aside. Here is a special message, I guess, from the astronaut, and it says, Dear doll lover, you could pause this video if you want to read up on it, but let's go ahead and flip the page. Here it shows different activity tips that you could use when doing arts and crafts with your dolls. Here are different pictures that we will be doing in this activity kit, but of course today we're only doing one page, but it looks like they have a lot of interesting activities to do. So this is today's activity. As you can tell, there's a horse, and everything, and it has to do with park ranger, and it says horse, all this stuff. So yesterday when I opened this kit up, I'm like, time to do another DIY, and then I'm like, I cannot do any of these activities without the horse. So at Walmart they had this horse, and I realized it looks exactly like the picture, but coincidentally. So it's like a light orange color, which is a light orange color. And then the snout, the nose is gray, and with white hair, it just like matched the picture completely. Of course it already came, My Life As already had the reins and all the blanket and that stuff, but we're going to have to take this off if we're going to go ahead and do these DIYs. So the first one says we need to use patch stickers, because on the picture over here, there's a girl, and she's looking like a park ranger. So I have to use a top from one of my doll collections. And then we're going to look at the different stickers and pop-outs. So here is what we're going to be using, that we're going to attach to the top. And then horse blanket. I've already cut out one of the pieces we're going to be using. I also forgot to mention walkie-talkie. They also gave us these stickers of walkie-talkies, but we're going to have to DIY that and stick that onto the DIY. And then the kit sign and a trail map. This would be the trail map, and this would be the sign. The top part is actually from Doll Hangouts, but I had taped it together because it just makes sense having all the signs together. So it's just this part that it comes with, as it shows here. And the trail map is what she's holding. And we will make a stand for that and everything. And so horse blanket and the saddle. Here, American Girl has already provided a pop-out that says horse saddle template. I've already popped that out, and it does recommend to use felt, but I'm going to use denim only because I have a lot of that fabric and I might as well just use it. So now let's put away this horse and put it aside so I can get all the arts and crafts supplies out so that we can get started on this DIY. Alright, so I've done all the DIYs and now I'm going to go ahead and get into detail. So over here it says we need to make one of these park ranger tops for the dolls, and it had come with these pop-outs. I used the two that are here. So basically what I had done, I just got this fabric and I made it sort of like a vest so that my dolls can wear it on top of their other clothes. And with hot glue gun, I had just glued them on, and those are the ones that she has wearing, so that would be easy to dress on top of the doll's clothes. So that was one DIY. The next one is walkie-talkies. So here are the walkie-talkies that I had made. Basically what I had done, I had cut a bit of this paper towel roll, just about like an inch wide, and just about an inch or so I wrapped it in duct tape. But to make the walkie-talkie antenna, as you see here, like there's a little antenna sticking out of it, I just used a wooden dowel or shish kebab stick, whatever you want to call it, and I had cut it and added it to the corner, and I also just sealed it with duct tape. And then with the kit stickers, here it says walkie-talkie, I had just placed it right on top, so now the dolls can use their walkie-talkies. The next one, it says the kit sign, which would be this one. I had gotten this the T letter shape at a dollar store a long time ago because it was the initial of my name, but I had it lying around, so I thought it would be perfect to hot glue gun it to this little thing, and I also added the sunflower. But I think this stand looks really good, and it's very firm, so it won't flim around or anything, so it could stay sturdy. And I'll be sure to put that near the doll's horse stable, which is also a set I tried to put together as of yesterday. So now the horse blanket, it says by 21 to 18 inches. So I chose this fabric. I've already cut it out and measured it with measuring tape. You want it by 21 by 18 inches. I've already cut it, measured it. I chose this flower pattern fabric because I thought it would look really fun and cute on the horse. So that it was pretty easy. All I had to do is measure and cut it. Now the saddle pattern. This one was a bit different. So I used this pop-out template that the kit had provided. I used denim material, and this is sort of tricky, so try to keep up. Oh, and by the way, this is also the map that came with the kit. I just folded it up the way the doll is holding in the picture. That was very easy. I just had to fold it. But for the saddle, so this is the part where the doll puts their foot in, as you could see over here. You obviously want two of those. What I did was I just divided up the duct tape to thin strips, and I had folded it in half so it's double-sided. So when you pull the tape out of the roll, it's sticky on one end, but if you fold it in half carefully, it'll be smooth on both ends. So you basically want to do a circle of that for each foot. Then you have that. So now with the template, I'm going to measure the template for you also, because if you don't have this template, you're going to want to know what it's like. So it's actually 9 inches long But of course, you want it to have this sort of shape up here where it's rounded at the top. And the tallest part would be 4.5 inches in the middle. And then on both ends, it's just 3.5. So the width is 9 inches. On one end of that, it's 3.5 inches. In the middle, it is 4.5 inches. And then it goes back to 3.5. So you want it to have this sort of like roundabout shape. Once you've cut that out onto the fabric, I chose denim. You just want to make these on each end. Cut out little strips, 2 strips, so that you could glue it from the saddle to the part where the doll's foot goes on each end. But now you want it to go underneath the horse's body. So you get another bit of fabric. It really depends on how long you want it to make it. I'll show you how it looks like once I put it on the horse. But the length I chose, let's see, this one actually was a bit longer. So it was about 15 inches in length. And the width would be, let's see, I know there's lots of measurements in this DIY. So, and then it's about 3.5 in width. And this straps under the horse's body. And I know I said 15 inches, but once I place it on the horse, you'll understand what I meant by that. So, now that I've confused you with all these calculations, I'm going to go ahead and move this aside and put it on the horse so you can finally see what it's supposed to look like. So here is the final product. The horse that we have here is wearing the blanket, and then it has the saddle up on top, and it goes underneath, and the doll's foot would strap onto here. Let me just turn the horse to the side so you can see the side profile. So it's on both sides, and yeah, I think it came out pretty nicely. I really like the flower pattern and the denim, and I'm sure the doll will look great wearing this. Now let me show you where I keep the horse. So yesterday when I came home, I realized I needed a place to put the horse. There's the sign, by the way, National Park. I made a picket fence, a very tall fence compared to the other ones. I used cardboard strips I wrapped it with white paper, and I gave it a little feeding area, and I still don't really know how to properly look after a horse, but I'm sure I can go around and find different, I know our generation had a horse care set, so I can go ahead and DIY some of those things. But yeah, I'm really glad that I have this little horsey and a proper place for it. I used to have the garden stand there, but then I moved it over here. So, today's DIY was a bit different than other ones, but it was lots of fun, and I'm glad we have this new horse, and my dolls are going to have lots of fun riding on it. And stay tuned for Dive Right In stop motion, because my dolls will be using the horse. I actually was getting disappointed before I had the horse, and I'm like, oh, I can't finish the stop motion, but now I can. So, yeah, see you.